Japan has marked a critical milestone in efforts to reshape its defense strategy, increase the national defense spending, and allow Tokyo to acquire a counterstrike missile capability. Japan this week adopted a new national security strategy to gain a more offensive footing and improve its resilience to protect itself from growing risks in China, North Korea, and Russia. Let us know more about Japan's new national security strategy and what all Japan plans to do to initiate rebalance of power in the Indo-Pacific. The new strategy of Japan marks a historic change in the country's defense policy since the end of World War II. Japan is in the process of returning to a normal nation in the long run by allowing the nation's possession and the possible use of offensive capabilities to strike against enemy missile bases in the event of an armed attack on Tokyo. On December 16, Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio's cabinet approved the nation's three key security documents, which will mark a major turning point in Japan's post-war policy of maintaining an exclusively defense-oriented policy. The unambiguous description of the threat posed by China and its no-limits ally Russia in the Japanese document clearly is the first step towards the rebalancing of power in the Indo-Pacific and pushback by an erstwhile pacifist nation to wolf warriors of Middle Kingdom. So let us know one by one the important changes made in the defense strategy of the country. The possession of counter-strike capability. It is the biggest challenge in the national security strategy of Japan and is indispensable for the country. Japan aims to achieve capabilities to disrupt and defeat invasions against its nation much earlier and at a further distance within about 10 years. Japan says that the use of counter-strike capability is constitutional if it is in response to signs of an imminent enemy attack, but experts say that it is extremely difficult to conduct such an attack without risking blame for striking first. Japan also aims to double its defense spending to about 2% of its GDP to a total of about 43 trillion yen through 2027. The new spending target will eventually push Japan's annual budget to about 10 trillion yen, the world's third biggest after the United States and China. Over the next 5 years, Japan will spend about 5 trillion yen on long-range missiles, whose planned deployment begins in 2026. Japan will purchase US-made Tomahawks and joint air-to-surface standoff missiles, while Japan's Mitsubishi Heavy Industry will improve and mass-produce a Type 12 surface-to-ship guided missile. Japanese defense officials said that they are still finalizing Tomahawk purchase details. Japan is also planning to develop other types of arsenals as well. Realizing the importance of cybersecurity, Japan also added that it will spend 8 trillion yen over the next 5 years on cross-domain defense, including cybersecurity and space. Fear of a regional security environment described as the severest and the most complicated in the post-war era has been a driving force behind the revision to Japan's strategy. Japan's new security strategy looks at China as an unprecedented and the greatest strategic challenge to the peace and security of Japan. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that the Pentagon backed Tokyo's decision to acquire new capabilities that strengthen regional deterrence, including the counter-strike capability, adding that the updated documents reflected important alignment between the two allies' vision and priorities outlined in their security strategies.